If you're a parent that has toddler kids, early elementary, probably even through like 4th grade, and you're looking for a cheat sheet of how to make summer a little more organized, a little more easy, to wring out some boredom, to wring out some like, Mom, I don't know what to do, then I think this episode is going to be a really helpful partner for you. I talk about some things that we've done in our home, some tools and tips I've gotten from my mom, who's just like low-key super creative, as a way to make our house feel fresh and new all summer long, even though there's lots of sand on the floor. So anyway, I think this is going to be helpful to just sort of get your creative juices flowing and to see your space and your kids and your time through the summer in maybe just a slightly new way. I'm Tiffany Sauder, entrepreneur, wife, mom to 4 girls, and a woman figuring it out just like you. If you're tired of living a life of have to and finally ready to build a life of want to, then you're in the right place. Come on, let's go build your life of and. You guys, welcome back to another episode of Life of And. We're trying something a little different in this episode. Truly, because my mom, not quite this bluntly, but pretty much, Mom, love you. She's like, Tiffany, I think you could be a little bit more fun.
On the podcast.
Yeah. She's like, I think your personality needs to come through more and you need to be a little funnier. I've had other people give me advice that I should not try to do funny. So we'll see. So I invited Sam, producer Sam, to come on the podcast with me and we're going to be friends.
We're going to make Wendy Schwab laugh.
That's right. We're going to make my mom laugh. And so as I was thinking about that feedback, I think it's fair. My mom is a huge cheerleader and also not afraid to tell me when it's a little boring. And I was like, I'm such a people person. I think my finger's bleeding. We'll talk about my finger in a minute. I think that part of it is just having interaction because it gets so in my head when I'm just talking into the microphone. So producer Sam is going to be joining.
Yeah, we're here.
And we're going to do the thing. So
what happened to your thumb?
Okay, my thumb. I have the world's like just ridiculous Band-Aid on it and it's got blood oozing out. So this morning I was getting ready to leave. I was running about 15 minutes late, which is pretty
typical
on target. I was rushing out and I had grabbed my backpack, my purse, and my water bottle. Standard fare. I can do that on one hand and still have the other hand to do whatever I need to do. Well, today I also had 2 other things I needed to bring to the office with me. I needed to bring a ring light with like a tripod. And so I had that in my other hand, my right hand. And then I also had a market basket because it's the chip and dip off at the agency today. I like to contribute when I can. And so I had like 14 avocados and because I'm making guacamole and you can't make that ahead of time or it gets brown. And so I have all the fixins for guacamoles. I'm loaded up both hands, tripod, ring light, market basket on one side, water bottle, handbag, and backpack in the other. And I decided the very last minute to try to go in the pantry to grab some protein. Because if you're over 40, you can't be without 30 grams of protein in arm's reach.
Protein. That's what I've learned from you.
That's right. Absolutely 30 grams of protein. So I go into the pantry with all of this stuff in my hand because I'm in a hurry. I'm late. And I clang in there and somehow the shelf of the pantry, because my protein shakes are like in the way back corner in like this little triangle movement vibe, I somehow bash my cuticle right where your nail and your on the top of the shelf right above my things. And it just like gashes it and starts just bleeding. So that is why I have this Band-Aid on my finger because it's the protein.
Did you remember the protein?
All service to the protein. I do have the protein.
Oh, that's good.
I have all things. So I left with everything but the kitchen sink this morning. Yeah. We'll see how I do in the chip and dip off.
Yeah.
If the guacamole kind of my go-to.
Did you win last year? I feel like you did well last year.
I did well. I always do well in the chip and dip off. In the chip and dip off. If you are around me, people know I love my own food.
Yes.
So yeah, so I've got a thumb a little maimed today, but I think my mouth will still work.
Yes.
We're in it. Exactly right. So
okay, summer kickoff. We're in the summer series. It's Mother's Day weekend this week.
Mm-hmm.
You want to talk about Mother's Day?
What are you doing for Mother's Day?
Well, we are going to a Bluey baseball game downtown.
The most mothery thing one could do.
Yes. Signed up for that before realizing it was Mother's Day.
So that would
Feels
kind of
off.
be sweet though, because
Yeah, I think so.
it'd be better if like Bryce was taking the kids.
Yeah, that's kind of in the back of my mind. Wish I had set that up. But we're all going. It'll be fine. Or it'll be a disaster and we'll go home.
Yeah. But maybe they'll be tired and sleep afterwards. This is my mom's first. My husband's going to be at Bandon Dunes on a 5-day golf trip, which I actually am, I would say only like 1.3% annoyed about it. Like really, I'm not. It's great. It'll be an incredible trip for him. And this is my mom's first Mother's Day without her mom. And so it kind of allows me to go. The girls and I are going to go up on Friday, just be super present for that first. That I think no matter how old you are. Mom, you're not old, but you're older than me.
Yes.
No matter when you lose your mom, it's still a big deal. And so we have so being able to be present for her will be fun. And my mom did the best idea this year. She's so gifty. I don't know how she does it. She has 17 grandkids, 4 kids, 4 in-laws. Like she has to be, it literally is a part-time job for her to be buying things that are special. But for Mother's Day this year, she got me and my sister-in-laws and my sister. She's like, you guys are also busy with your lives and you're all like active and love to kind of move fast. And so she's getting us all a pair of sneakers for Mother's Day.
Oh, that's
Isn't that
cute.
fun?
Yeah.
So classic Wendy. She's like, I was panicking as I was shopping. So she's like, please just tell me what you want and I'll get it for you. But that was like, I feel like that's a fun, thoughtful like gift.
Yeah. What did you go with? What sneakers?
I'm between the school that we go to the color is green. And so I sit in the stands a lot these days. So there's a really fun pair of green Adidas Sambas right now that have like pink on them that I think are pretty fun. Thinking those, or sometimes I find like every pair of shoes is colorful. And so I have a hard time finding a pair of shoes that match anything, or just kind of a nice classic, like gold. I feel like that's kind of in right now.
Yeah.
Or the Gola has a really cool silver sneaker right now too.
That's
my
fun.
mom actually bought them, but maybe I'll match her. So
yeah.
Anyway, I think that's a fun gift idea though.
Yeah, that is really fun.
For a friend or I don't know. So that was fun. Okay. So yes, we're doing summer survival series.
Yes.
So what's our episode about?
Today's is about elementary kids and toddler. Like, what do you do with them over the summer? How do you keep them entertained? How do you keep them from, I don't know, driving you crazy with, I'm bored. What do I do? Or just having like huge toddler meltdowns because there's no agenda, nothing specific going on, and it just leads to them freaking out.
So it'll be interesting because you haven't actually, well, you've kind of seen what I'm talking about today, but you haven't heard this exported.
Right.
And this is not totally your first summer as a working mom, but kind of.
Kind of. Because last year he was, just still young enough that it wasn't big. It was like he was so chill. He's almost 3 this year, and it's just like new ball game. He just requires a lot more
energy, totally. And then Remy, when was Remy born? She was born
August.
in the fall. Yeah.
So first with 2, trying to figure out how to manage both of them.
Yeah. So I think it'll be interesting. I think as I'm saying these things, you need to also kind of hold me accountable if you're like, well, that's adorable, but that's not actually possible, or that's not helpful, or asking questions that go deeper. So I have the teenagers. So the next week episode is going to be ideas to keep your kids busy without screens for kind of teenagers. But this one is younger. So my younger 2 are 9, almost 10, and 4, almost 5. And these things work really well for us. So I'm going to go through, I have a lot of stuff on here. I hope that it feels all helpful. 8 things. I don't do all of these things every summer, but a lot of them. Yeah. So I'll go through this stuff and we'll kind of go through it. So before we get started, a note from our sponsors. Play some music. I'm going to talk through some stuff. And if you're thinking, holy crap, I don't even have time for this, Tiffany, that's adorable, but I'm sorry, my eyes are bleeding. Or maybe your thumb is bleeding, like my thumb is bleeding. My eyes and my thumb are bleeding. I'm telling you, you need to try getting rid of your laundry, sending it out. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but I would recommend starting with Poplin. And you can use my code Tiffany15 for $15 off your first load. So outsource your laundry. You literally put your dirty clothes in a trash bag and you put it outside the back of your house. I
Yeah.
promise you have time for that.
Yes. It's like Instacart. Like someone just comes to your house,
Yes.
takes your laundry away, and then it comes back folded, clean. So nice.
Within 24 hours for
Yeah.
$1 a pound. So one big white trash bag, like $20, and I just gave you $15 off. And don't be a jerk and not tip. You gotta tip a little.
Yeah, for sure.
We're in the service economy, friends. But for less than $20, you can try this and it will give you hours back. For my family of 6, again, with rugs and all, sheets and, I don't know, Quincy peas still. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Well, and it's summer. I feel like they put on like 5 more outfits
Totally.
over the summer than they do during the school year.
Yeah. So it doesn't mean you can't still run your own washing machine sometimes, like for a load of towels, but try sending it out. Okay. Poplin, Tiffany 15. It's your code. Go try it and tell me about it. I'm telling you, you guys, it will change your life.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we actually created a guide, summer sanity guide, to it has everything we'll talk about today from the last few episodes too, and Tiffany's code on it. And it's like some best practices for Poplin too. So you can download that. I don't know.
Okay. Super. Link in show notes for podcasters, friends. Okay. I'm going to go through these 8 things, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a backdrop. Again, this is not a podcast that's telling you what you should do. It's simply offering up the way I think about things, the way JR and I think about things in our family, and some stuff I've tried or picked up from other people in my life that have really helped get the summer to work just better. So overall things. Number 1, I like to keep camps to a minimum. I know lots of families do lots of camps. No problem. There's not a wrong way to do it, but I like to keep camps to a minimum. I like my kids being around our house, and I want my kids to be able to have the skill of unstructured playtime. I think like so many other things in our lives, we have to learn how to be bored. We have to learn how to have ideas. We have to learn how to manage our time. And for me, one of the ways of doing that is keeping camps to a minimum. But the day does have to have some structure to it, or literally time becomes this amoeba. I mean, it's like that for us even as adults, So
can I argue for why we're doing camps this
yes.
summer? Okay. We have chosen to do 2-day camps through the summer with Finn because we're in the phase where we have 1 in daycare, 1 in preschool. So to pay for full-time daycare, which is like the cost of daycare right now is insane. Plus a full-time nanny was just like a crazy thought to us. Like we just couldn't just didn't want to do that. It was like way too much. So we decided to do 2-day camps through the summer for Finn, and then we're having our mother-in-law watch him the other 2 days, or we might also like in and out like babysitters, things like that throughout the summer, to balance it out. Yeah. And then I know in the future we'll do a nanny for the summer, but just like in this season with 1 in daycare still, it was like, that's just a crazy price, especially because she's like infant daycare, like that's the highest cost. And it's already so much a week that we just were like, we gotta.
Because if you pulled her out for the summer and just had a nanny, you couldn't get her back in.
No.
Yeah.
We have to keep paying. So it just like financially was the only wise thing to do,
Totally.
And Fenn, just at his age, I think going 2 days a week will make the fall when he goes back to school like full time just a better transition for him because he'll be used to it, like in the run of it instead of pulling him
I
out.
think this is really different too. At 3, for them to be home alone all day long with a nanny, it's so much for everybody. It's a long day for him. It's a long day for the nanny. Like, it's just too much, honestly, like attention.
Yeah.
I've found. If Quincy wasn't like a teenager, like her and Lexi just like go do teenager things. And she's in school 2 days a week, but if she was home 5 days
well, and she has like
week,
bigger sisters to play with too. I feel like that makes a big difference.
in the summer.
Whereas like he's like, he just doesn't have any kids there with him to play with. So I think in this season.
And I'm not dogging camps. They are such important partners to parents. I mean, I'm not dogging them at all. At all. They're super helpful, and we will do several of them, some dance camps and some things like that. But I think if as a parent you're wanting your kids to be home some.
Yep.
The other is I try to get ahead of things when they're going to be hungry and have healthy food options available beforehand. When anybody's hungry, things go off the rails, and I'll talk about that a little bit. But having structure around when are we going to eat? The pantry doors are not always open except for when Finn is at our house. Sam's little guy is the snackiest little man.
Snacks.
He's like, he'll have like 2 little chocolate chips, and they're just like his security.
Yes.
He's like, I have
This
them.
is great.
They're melting in my hands, but I have them. And being thoughtful about when they're fed, when they're hydrated, because that creates in my head like this strong baseline, the day to build off of. When you start off with a crappy breakfast, when they forget to drink water, when they're not like when that sort of nutrition structure is not in place, there's like no chance you're going to have a good day. So that's just some backdrop things overall that I like to keep in mind and kind of how I think about it. Okay. We're going to dig into the 8 things. Number 1, don't have every toy and craft and Nerf gun and everything available to them all the time. So literally cycling some things out of the main play area so that you don't have access to all of it all the time. It makes it new again when it wasn't an option for a few days a week. So that can be that like, literally you just like move bins maybe on Saturdays and you put some things away and move it to the top shelf, and the next Saturday you move some things out. But not having everything available all the time gives them fewer choices, which is actually more helpful. And I really just observed this in like the preschool environment that my kids are in. They don't have everything available to them all the time. It's like, this is water table time and we're going to do it for 30 minutes. And the kids are like, oh my word, this is great. The water table hasn't been available to me and now it's out and I can play with this. So take a cue from that and have some type of structure where things can be rotated out, put on different shelves, whatever that looks like.
It's something I've realized like just in the last, I don't know, few months where I've like, I need to start doing that because he all of a sudden thinks he has nothing to play with because there's everything to play with and he just can't pick.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we also get, I think, a decision.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know what to do.
Yeah. So that's one. Another is to create zones for different things to happen. My mom is incredible at this, and this is totally where I've learned this. But we can have we can get in, which I understand, to be like, hey, the basement is the play pit place. And all the toys are on shelves down there, kind of all in one place. And we have set up in our house, and my mom, like I said, is so good at this, of being like zones for different things to happen. So we have like a Barbie zone, and we have our 2 dream Barbie houses because we have a million girls. We have our Barbie things. They've got their Barbie crafts. This is like the Barbie room. And then we have a craft zone where I have a table and there's bins and there's markers and there's stickers and there's paints. And it's like, this is where we do crafts. So that all that stuff kind of works together. We have an American Girl doll zone. Like, this is where all of their stuff is. Again, we have girls for days. And so it's like, okay, I can't believe you have all these things for all these zones. Well, we've been getting gifts for girls for 16 years. So we have a lot of toys.
Accumulated.
Yes, a lot of girls. We have a reading zone with books and a big beanbag. We have a Lego zone. We have our gymnastic stuff all goes to the same place. And then we can bring that out pretty easily and put that all away. We have a game zone. Like, actually, that's kind of in our living room area where the girls will get out puzzles and games, and that's done on the main floor because it's clean and it's picked up and it's easy to get out a board game when there's like a simple, clean surface. So think about how you set your space up physically to feel new for your kids in the summer. I'm working on this right now. I'm going to build this little, I'm not going to. I'm hiring
like, are we building something?
Yes, I got a hammer and my thumb hurts. I'm going to have my handyman build like the structure for like an American Girl doll house.
Oh, that's a good idea.
We have so much American Girl doll stuff to get it all off the floor. And it will make that room feel totally different to get we have like 2 beds, a kitchen, all this stuff. I'm going to have him build a little garage so the car can go in there.
Yeah. Oh, they'll love that.
It will get all that stuff off the floor in their room. It will make that room feel completely different. I don't know. I'm guessing it'll probably cost me $600, which is like 1 week of camp. Talk about that in a minute. So clean out your stuff before summer comes. So right now, the kids have like 4 weeks of school left. So I'm literally going through like all the marker bins and throwing away all the ones and make it fresh again.
Yeah, like brand new sidewalk chalk. I got some for Finn and he was like,
Change the world.
sidewalk chalk is amazing.
Yes.
New
bubbles.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. This is actually my
that.
3rd one is make their normal toys fresh again.
Okay. Yes. It helps so much.
Totally. Throw all the old sidewalk chalk away.
Broken crayons.
The broken crayons, get new markers, get totally fresh, new construction paper. Or if your kids are like into, I'm like, we don't have boys. I'm like, I don't know, like 200 Nerf gun darts. How exciting if I was a little boy.
Yeah.
Or like a new set of cones that they can set up obstacle courses, or some jump ropes, or like
New Play-Doh even. It
yes,
gets all like dried out or mixed up and they just don't play with it anymore.
they don't play with it.
Yeah.
And it's like for $45, you can refresh all of those things and it makes it feel so different. And you don't even have to go get new things. I have found if I got rid of half of my girls' baby dolls, just get rid of them and go to Goodwill and buy 2 more, the whole baby doll experience is new again.
Yes.
I got rid of half, so there's fewer to pick from, and we went and spent, I don't know, $3.50.
And you've told me you let them like take those to the pool because
Yes.
it's like you've spent like $3 or whatever. So they take them to the pool, and if they lose them, it's like, okay, I spent
don't
$3.
care.
Yeah.
Totally. I don't care. So Goodwill is a great place. I love a good garage sale.
Oh my, yeah.
Love a good garage sale.
So fun.
Even getting things like picnic blankets and putting that in the center of the basement. We put a rug down there. It was not new. It's not even cute. Kind of hairy. Things get lost in it, you know? I put a rug down there and it just made the basement feel different. And the girls were using that as like their little area where they were pretending like that was their house. So
Yeah.
make it fresh again. Make it feel new. And it doesn't have to be brand new. Get into a game swap with a neighbor. Be like, can we have 3 of your games and you can have 3 of ours, or a puzzle swap? Like, just make it fresh and new again. Think about how good it feels when you get in your car and it's been cleaned, or how excited you feel to like put on a new sweater with an old pair of jeans, or do Rent the Runway and be like, oh my word, I just like feel different in myself. I think that's how their toys are to them.
How they experience.
Yes.
Probably.
So, okay, we talked about creating zones, making their normal toys fresh again. Again, this is a place where instead of paying a bunch of money for camps, I have said, I don't know, I probably would spend, I don't know, a couple $1,000 on camp sending them out. And so I'm not afraid to spend $1,000 or a few $100s just making their spaces fresh again, giving them things to play with. Cause I'm like, that really anchors them into our home experience. And that's where I want them to play.
Yeah.
That's where I want them
like
to have their summer.
outside toys. So they're like excited to go outside.
Yeah.
And play.
Like it can be a hose, a sprinkler. It does
Yes,
not
and a
have to be
sprinkler,
glamorous.
for sure. Yes.
We have a lot of janky things and they have mostly fun. You do need some stuff that's not amazing so that you can take it to the pool and they can build forts outside and get a sheet, do an outdoor movie. Like those things just kind of break it up. So I think the thing to know in all of that is it's not going to happen well without some thoughtful planning. And it does not need to be that you are scripting every single day, but having an hour on the weekend where you're looking at the next week and kind of thinking through, what am I sorting? What am I moving? Order all your Amazon stuff and have a big laundry basket in your closet. And every week you pull a couple of things out that you know they're going to love. It doesn't have to be treat day every day, but it does keep kind of the summer, I think, moving and fun. Okay, next one. Let them know the schedule. I think all kids love expectations. And when they're in the rhythm of daycare or the nanny coming or going to preschool or whatever the thing is, if that changes in the summertime, it can be easy to just be like, they should know what's happening. They have no idea what's happening if we don't tell them what's happening. And so we have my teenagers will be here at our house and I'll have my nanny there some days as well. But my plan is to set up in my daily schedule 3 breaks during the day. In the morning, to have a 15-minute morning break so that I can come out, I can walk around, the kids will all be home, I can answer any questions, I can satisfy the needs. As real or imagined as they might be. And so having a 15-minute morning break, just putting it in my calendar, walking out, doing the things, putting some snacks out, making sure hey, everybody drink a glass of water. Because at school, they have a snack. So they'll get up and eat breakfast. They've got snacks in the morning. And so then they're hungry. And then the same thing, I'll do a 30-minute lunch break where if there's my nanny, the big kids are home, I'll be like, everybody needs to go outside. We're going to eat outside. I'm going to make sure everybody eats something healthy. Everybody's going to drink some water. And then the same thing, another 15-minute break in the afternoon.
That's
just resolving issues and take that time. If your kids can read, posting what your break times are that day on a Post-it note on your office door will help them know when they will have access to your time.
Right.
Because in their head, I think it's like for forever.
Bargaining.
Yeah, they don't know. And little kids don't understand time. But then my nanny can say, hey, at 10:15, mom's going to have a break. Or my teenagers can say, hey, in a half hour, go watch one show and, mom will be out here pretty soon. So let them know the schedule. Okay, number 5. Give them control, choice, and variety. I'm a list person. I don't know if I've trained my kids to be list people or if all kids are list people. I know. I don't. You ever
Such
made a
a
list with Finn?
No, I don't know if he could, like, articulate it yet.
No, but if you wrote down like 5 things, we're gonna get dressed, we're gonna brush our teeth, we're gonna eat breakfast, and we're gonna go outside and play.
Yeah.
Would he? I don't know. I can't remember.
It
At
would have to
almost
be,
3.
like, visual pictures probably. I
Oh,
have heard of
totally.
that, where, like, bedtime routine where people use, like, visual pictures to, like, walk them through a
Totally, he
list.
can't
So
read.
that's, like, the same. Yeah.
When Quincy and I have Fridays together at home, I almost always have something I have to do,
Mhm.
and she's gonna be annoyed that I'm working.
Right.
And so she draws the pictures
Mhm.
as I say the things because then she knows what they mean
Yeah.
and she'll cross them off. So make a list of what's happening that day. I will draw pictures for Quincy, Ivy, that my rest of my kids can read and let them check it off and give them ideas to pick from of what they can do for fun.
Mhm.
So again, when every toy in your house, when every possible activity, they can't always think of like, go build a fort, go make a
Yeah.
card for grandma's birthday, go,
Yeah, that
um,
makes sense.
and literally putting a Post-it note of like, these are 6 ideas I have of things you can do for the day. It gives
Mhm.
them something. Cause when they say I'm bored, they just like literally can't think of something fun to do.
Right.
And so I think it takes the hard out for them. And I have a list of just things that I know we have got stuff to do. I got new paint, go downstairs and organize your Barbies,
Yeah.
go pack for a trip we're going on, or I don't
Yeah.
know, circle some things in this magazine for your birthday.
Right.
They don't know what to do. So that's giving them some control and some choice. Looking ahead at the weather, I would do this in our family meetings. Literally have the week and draw like it's going to be sunny on Monday, it's going to be rainy on Tuesday, it's going to be cold on this day so that they know, okay, Monday we'll probably go to the pool, Tuesday it's going to be indoor time,
Mhm.
and I've got a few ideas of things that they can do or cool
Yeah.
stuff that we've been wanting to plan. So again, it's like, dang, Tiffany, this sounds really tedious. It's like it takes all the solving of the day away when you take 15, 20 minutes and sit down with them on the weekends and say, let's all understand what the weather's likely going to be. What days are we going to do what? And let's have a few ideas in the context of the weather, in the context of who's going to be home about what's going to happen. Another thing, we have a family or two that we have routine play dates with that we just break up the monotony for the kids. I suspect Lucy will be over at our house once a week this summer, and I suspect my brother's kids will be
And
over
now
at our
your
house.
neighborhood kids.
Yeah.
All the neighborhood kids.
Yes, which is mostly going well. We live in a neighborhood
Depends
of
on who you ask.
5 homes, and I have said I've never wanted to live in a big neighborhood because I don't want
Mhm.
to lose my kids to other people's backyards. Not because they're not wonderful. It's just we're not home that much. And so to have one more place where I lose them to, I was like, I don't want to. But there's a lot of kids moving in.
Yes, yes.
Starting to change a little bit. And then setting up a part-time sitter. If you don't have a full-time nanny, you're working from home with kids, even in that like 7 to 12 age. They're kind of that tweeny, having a part-time sitter or a high school kid that comes and like takes him to the pool or takes him on an outing a couple days a week
Mhm.
breaks up the monotony for everybody.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come with the expense necessarily of a full-time nanny all summer long, but can kind of break things up. So that's some ideas there. This is such a random thing, but I'm going to do this summer. Sunscreen them at breakfast.
Yeah. I feel like that feels like a great idea.
Takes away the to-do.
Yeah. And then you're not like fighting them at the pool to put on their sunscreen.
Just
before
gonna
they
put
jump
on
in,
sunscreen.
or just like to go outside.
Yeah. And if they end
Yeah.
up staying out there for 2.5 hours or they never go
fine.
outside, I don't have to have been there.
Yes.
So I'm going to sunscreen them at breakfast.
Yeah.
I mean, I love habit stacking, and I feel like I've missed sunscreen a bit. I'm not quite as psycho about it because I'm not with them as much. And so,
Right.
okay, I have 2 more left. Let me back up real quickly before I get into this one and give a quick backdrop. So in the Life of And Academy, I teach the difference between implicit expectations and explicit agreements. So when we have implicit expectations of one another, we have these unstated things that I think I'm going to get from you or I think you want from me, and vice versa, things that you want, what you want from me or what I think you want from me. And it's all very implicit. And as a result, it becomes very mushy and hard to manage. And your emotional state, your busyness state, like all kinds of other factors can kind of change this implicit thing. But when there are explicit agreements, it's gone from being very smushy to being very clearly defined.
Yep.
That's one, that's making it explicit. But the second is it's an agreement. So both parties understand it and have sort of agreed to be compliant and governed by the thing.
Yeah.
It takes the struggle out. So number 6 is decide what you're really going to care about and make explicit agreements around it. I'm going to use this one and this one about toddlers and the same thing in teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same, but what are you really going to care about? Because when new rules emerge as the summer goes on, that starts to feel like a moving target for the kids. And when they have to come and ask you about everything, because everything's implicit, that starts to become exhausting. And then they start getting in trouble for things that they didn't even know that they needed to be thoughtful about. Like, for example, one of my explicit agreements with my kids is around snacks. You know the snack?
Yes.
What is the
one pantry, one fridge? Yes.
One pantry, one fridge. And they would
Yes.
all say when they get home from school, when they get home from somewhere, if they want a snack, that is no problem. I don't police our food.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're going to get a snack, it has to be one pantry, one food. They don't have to get something, one fridge. They don't have to get something.
But it means like something fresh or not like a processed, like packaged thing.
So they don't have to get something from the pantry, but that's where all kids start. And so if they're going to eat something from the pantry, then they need to also eat something from the fridge. So fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, a cheese stick, a yogurt, something like that. And it regulates their blood sugar. And they don't get into this like chemical satiation with all of these processed foods. And it balances out what they eat. I know they're getting some protein, they're getting some fiber, some fresh things. And it's just generally they eat less when that's the case.
Yeah.
I find moderation is much easier for them. And I know they're getting something fresh. They're not getting headaches. So that is a very explicit agreement that is so clear to every kid in my house. Yep. And the other way that I govern what they eat is just by what's available in the pantry.
Right.
So I don't have, certain things all the time. There are treats that we'll have in there sometimes. So it's very explicit. One pantry, one fridge. It's a very easy thing to teach your kids. I really only have 3 explicit agreements that I'm going to set up for the summer with my littles. That was the snack thing, which is not new. That's alive and well during the school year. The second is that they can watch the iPad 2 times a day for 25 minutes each. Twice a day. Or if they want to watch that 25 minutes twice, that's fine. Whenever, I'm going to give them total control over when they do it. 25 minutes twice a day. And if they don't get off of it, so they know when they start watching the iPad, they say, Alexa, set the timer for 25 minutes. So use Alexa as a timer. Use it as a partner of you to kind of help the kids know. Or even be like, every day an alarm should go off that says, hey, kids, it's time to go upstairs and get your clothes on. Maybe you want that to go off at 9:30. And it's kind of the sign just to clean up breakfast and go get your clothes on. I use Alexa as a time partner because they get pulled into a vacuum. So they set the timer for 25 minutes. And they also know, again, explicitly, if they don't shut the iPad off at the end of 25 minutes and I see it or find out, then they don't get the iPad at all the next day.
Oh, that's good.
It's just very clean. It's not threatening. I'm not mad at you. If you want to go over today, you totally understand what's going to happen. Is tomorrow you don't get it at all. So I try to teach them that why, they know why it's important not to be on the iPad all the time. They get grumpy and terrible.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
So that is number 2. And then number 3, when the door is closed to my office, you can't come in. Unless somebody's bleeding, but nothing is ever happening like that. And so I was even thinking about this. You could make a system for your kids. Mine is just if the door closes, if the door is closed, you can't come in. But you could have kind of a red, yellow, green kind of a vibe where there's like scrunchies you put on the doorknob or something. And it's like green, you can come in and out as needed. Maybe you need the door closed because of sound or something. But if it's green, hey, you can come in. If it's yellow, like only if it's urgent. And if it's red, which kids, everything's urgent with them.
Yes. Yeah. The yellow.
Yeah, maybe no yellow. I just do the doors open and closed.
Yeah.
But if you need your doors closed, I was like, you could use like some color coding system.
That's smart.
Okay, last one. This was JR's idea, my husband. He had a really cool thing that he did with Ivy. So the 8th one is reward the behavior you want versus only penalizing when they do it wrong. So if you set out a plan for the family and you say, hey, this is the week. These are the time periods that I need to, can't be interrupted, or these are the activities. These are the places I need you guys to be self-starters or to play well or to, sort of make the peace. Give them stars or points or some way of them knowing, like, did I win the day? Like, stick the landing, it was a 10. Did I do medium, or did I really kind of fail the system and I didn't do well? And if there's a certain number of stars or points, however you do it, that they get in a week, then go do something fun.
Yeah.
Go get ice cream on Friday night. Go play a game together. Go do family Olympics outside. Like, go do something to celebrate the fact that everybody played their role this week and we work together as a team and a family. Celebrate together, and let's pay attention so that they feel rewarded when they did the hard things of saying, no, I cannot come to you right now. Can you figure it out with your sister? Can you figure it out with your sibling? Can you play just 15 minutes longer? I think it rewards their determination. It rewards their creativity. It rewards their respect of the explicit agreements. Like, I just like that a lot. One of the things that JR did with Ivy, because she's such my iPad kid, is he told her that he would give her $1. I think it was $1 for every minute that she read more minutes than she watched TV.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah.
So
not just minutes of reading, but it had to like counteract.
Be more minutes than she watched TV. And she started to realize, man, these TV minutes,
they really add up.
They can really eat into your dollars,
Yeah.
And it was amazing. He didn't give her like a goal of $30 a week or anything like that. He was just like, I'll make an agreement with you that if you want some money and want some, whatever it was, that for it. And so she had this whole tally chart going for like a month, and then she gave up on it because it was just really hard. Yeah. But it made her understand. So she's 9 when he did that with her. But it made her understand time in a different way.
Yeah, she made her aware of how much time she was
laying on the like chair, just like reading, and being like, has it been 30 minutes yet? And it's like, it's been 6.
Yes.
It's 6 minutes. 6 minutes.
Man. Yep.
So I thought that was really creative.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's other ways to apply that kind of an idea that people more creative than me on this microphone right now could do. Do you have any ideas?
Kind of like, I think you like kind of like the star idea, like giving them a star for every time they're doing something good. Because it does, especially I think with a toddler, like there's just so many like meltdowns and difficult things in their day. So to like give them a star when they're doing something really good, it's like, oh yeah, I am a good kid too. You know? Like,
well, and like again at daycare, or I know sometimes in like potty training, they'll give them like one M&M. Like it can literally be the tiniest symbol of positive feedback that makes such a huge difference. Yes. We're back on the star train. So Quincy, my almost 5-year-old, she just pees the bed at night.
Yes.
And she does not want to wear a diaper, which I understand. She's like names off all of her friends that don't wear diapers anymore at bed. If she could listen to this podcast, she'd be horrified that I was sharing this with everybody.
I bet they wear them at night. I feel like it takes kids a long time sometimes to make it through the night.
It's taking her a long time. So if she gets 7 stars and wakes up dry, then I let her not wear a diaper until she pees 2 nights in a row, and then she's back in diapers. So we're back in diapers right now. We have 3.5 stars. She negotiated a half star the night before last because she said it was just a little bit. Just a little.
That's amazing.
Just 3.5 stars. I don't know. So, okay, that's the list of things. Through. How to keep your kids busy without screens. And it's like, dang, why does it take so much energy? But I think this kind of goes back to the thing that Brian Kavicki said in our episode is like, you've got to sit down and think, what's the experience I want my kids to have this summer? And for me, I want my kids to exit summer or to think back on their childhood and say, summers were fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being home.
Yes.
And I remember having the chance to be creative. And I remember being able to do things that didn't always have form.
Yeah.
That's what I want my kids to say about summer. So the work I do in setting up these zones and moving toys around and trying to be creative and like literally have a saved folder, whatever it's called, pins. On Instagram, I have a little like saved that's just kid activities ideas that I'll go visit when I'm like trying to help the kids be more creative. And Pinterest has so many things. So
Yeah, so many ideas.
I'm not saying there's
Sometimes
no
they're a
excuse.
little crazy.
One of my favorites that I saw was taking a bunch of like tiny figurines and putting them in a bowl of water and freezing it and giving the kids a
Something to
little,
chop it.
little hammer.
That's fun. Yeah. That would be
Even
fun.
pouring warm water over it. Like how
Yes.
fun.
Yeah.
So you can't do that in like 3 minutes because you have to plan ahead.
Right, you have
But
to think
those
about
things,
it.
it's like, how do I use stuff in my house?
Yeah.
And that
There are
one
so
I
many
think
good
is really
ideas.
fun. Another one of my favorite summer things, and then we'll be done, I promise. Paint brushes, paint rollers, and a bucket of
Outside.
water.
Yes. It's amazing.
Paint the concrete
Mm-hmm.
and use sidewalk chalk and then paint the sidewalk chalk with water.
Yep.
Glorious
they'll do it
mess.
for so long. Yeah.
Costs like no money and they'll spend
Mhm.
hours on it. So, all right, guys, summers aren't perfect. No season is, but smile your way through it.
Thanks for listening to The Life of And. This is your weekly reminder to keep making bold choices, saying clear yeses, and holding space for what matters most. As always, if you like this episode, I'd love for you to drop a review and share it with your friend. It's the fastest way that we can grow the show. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you next time.